So this is a Collarum trap. It's really cool design, and we've been using them for a little while and had some decent success with them. But the thing about the Collarum traps is everything has to be 100% perfect. 99.9% is failure. Kind of show you how this thing sets up. So basically, what we're going to do is this comes with a spring, a little hook on the end, a little loop on the end, and we want to bend this loop down and place it behind that hook, so it kind of slides into that hook. And then what we're going to do is, this is our actual Collarum snare that goes up and around the Coyote's head. It's attached to a swivel, attached to a spring, attached to another swivel, and we've got it double staked in the ground, so he can pull all he wants to, never getting out of that. So it's very secure and solid. Ideally, you want to have kind of a hill or a gradual incline, because what that's going to do is, when this thing fires, it's going to throw this loop up and around the Coyote's head, and I'll show you once the trap is all put together and set exactly how it works. But there's a piece right here that's full of bait. He comes in it. The bait that we use actually entices a biting, pulling action, so he's going to bite on the mouthpiece. When he goes to pull, this releases and throws the loop up and around his head, and this spring is what tightens it once it's up and around his head. So to have it at a slight incline or on a hill, you're basically, the more inclined it is, you don't want it too inclined, but at least anywhere from a 0 to 30-degree incline is probably pretty good, because basically the trap, the snare doesn't have to travel as far, and it's just a quicker fire. So we want to kind of visualize where we're going to put this trap. So it's going to be about right here, and the loop is going to be about like that, maybe a little bit back. So what I want to do is just clear out all the dirt from everywhere where this trap is going to be. I'm going to clear out all the dirt, and when it's set and in place, I want everything smooth and ground level. There doesn't need to be a raise or anything like that. Everything needs to be smooth and ground level. So I'm just going to remove some of this dirt and put it in my sifter, because we'll reuse it. But all right, so I'm need to take a little bit more dirt out where this spring is at, and you don't want any roots. You definitely don't want any roots or sticks or rocks. Everything needs to be just soft, good sifted dirt when we're done. All right, so it's pretty good. Get that root out of the way. I don't want that to be in the way. Anything questionable needs to be fixed. You don't want to leave anything questionable, because, like I said, this thing has to be 100% perfect. It says you want 3 extra large nails. I think that's the name of them. And there's 3 holes in the Collarum. So you actually got 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes. And so when you get your trap in place of where you want to put it, all you want to do is just take a nail, stick it in to each hole, and that's just going to secure the trap, keep that trap in place, so that when it fires, everything doesn't just go crazy everywhere. Everything's just holds in place, and the only thing that's moving is what is supposed to move. This is my traps in place. I've got my nails put in. So what I want to do is the main wire of the snare, I want to put that underneath this little hook. And then the Collarum has these clips on it, and so I want to actually clip the cable into these clips. I want kind of an oval shape. I don't want a circle, and I don't want a huge oval, but I want just an oval that's big enough to where it's going to smoothly go over top of his head. And then when this thing fires, the bars throw it over top of his head, and at the exact right time, this spring releases. So basically the trap fires, throws the loop up and around his head, the spring releases, snatches it down tight, and there is a stop on this. So once he's in there, it tightens just enough to hold him there, but not too much to hurt him or choke him out. It just holds him there until we're ready to come get him and remove him. It is a very smart design and device. You can kind of tell about like that is how I like it. Just a little bit of an oval, and make sure again that lead wire to the snare is underneath the spring. So we're set. That's how the trap needs to look. And basically we just take Collarum bait. There's the bait that comes with this trap. It entices that biting, pulling action, and we just kind of want to rub it all over the bite piece and actually pack it inside, because it is hollow. So I'm just going to start sifting, and what I want to do is I want to sift in and make sure there's dirt everywhere except for where the cable is initially, and I'll show you guys why here in just a little bit. I'm going to cover my spring up with some good dirt. All my pieces here, I want to make sure that they're all covered really well and that they're packed down. If the coyote doesn't feel it, if he steps on all this stuff, he's not going to feel any of this under his feet. and get weary. So all this stuff just needs to be covered and packed down. The only thing I really want to see initially is the cable and the cable bars that the cable is attached to. And I want to leave the place for the bite piece rod to be exposed so I can know where my bite piece rod is, because that's the trigger. So add a little more dirt now. That's pretty good. Now I'm just going to start sifting. We only want just a light layer of dirt over where the cable's at. And I'm just going to continue sifting over my cable. Some good, real light, sandy dirt there. So I just want a little bit of dirt over my cable. And actually what I'm going to do is just remove the dirt from where the cable's at, because what I'm going to do now is, obviously this is just a big sandy spot that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm just going to remove the dirt where the mouthpiece is, bite piece. So I'm going to pat down everything on the inside and outside of the cable. So what I'm going to do is now just get some grass and brush and just kind of brush it in. Little small pieces of grass or leaves is fine, but don't want to have any rocks or any big roots or anything big that's going to slow this cable from firing. So like this bigger stuff, I'll put it on the outside. Just going to kind of blend it so it doesn't stick out. We've got it kind of blended in. I'm just going to add a little bit more dirt right around, just lightly dusting right around where the cable is. And so that's covered. And then we'll kind of just a little more. And so now we're going to install the bite piece. Again, you can push down, but just don't pull up on it. Alright, so that's in there. And it goes on pretty smoothly, but when it comes, there's some little grooves, so it kind of holds onto it. So when it pulls, that thing's going to fire. So one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, is that we want this coyote coming from this direction. If he comes from here, or especially from the back, this thing's going to fire and it's going to completely miss the coyote. So we want to use the brush that we have and some surrounding brush to kind of not box him in, because coyotes are very weary and he's going to be weary if it's like a boxed in area, but we want to just use a little bit of natural stuff to just kind of guide his steps and guide the direction in which we want him to come from, because we need him to come straight on to this mouthpiece. We're just brushing in just a little bit here and there to just make it so that the path of least resistance is straight onto this mouthpiece. That is very important. That's actually pretty good. Move that out of the way just so it doesn't hit it from the fires. Put that stuff there. It's actually pretty good. Maybe put one more piece there just to keep it from coming around. Well, the path of least resistance, as you can see, is pretty much straight on. So this trap is good to go. Takes a little bit of time and work, but it does catch the coyotes humanely. And here in Florida, foothold traps are illegal for some strange reason. I haven't figured it out yet, but this trap's good to go. And we're going to set a few more traps here in this area, and we'll be back with you, and hopefully we'll have a coyote. All right, so we got us a coyote in the Collarum trap. So come on in here. So this Collarum trap, what it does is it throws a loop up and around the coyote's neck, tightens down just tight enough to hold him there. Doesn't cause him any pain, any discomfort. There's two swivels and a spring, so he can pull and jerk all he wants to, and it's not going to hurt him at all. He's probably been trying to get out of this thing all night, and as you can see, he's perfectly healthy. There's no skin broken. He's just kind of held there. He's probably not happy, but he is humanely captured and not hurt at all. This coyote, we're in Northeast Florida. This coyote is not native. These guys are absolutely taking over at a catastrophic and alarming rate. They are taking over Northeast Florida. And this coyote will not be relocated. He will be euthanized. And for everybody out there that is against that and is not happy about the euthanization of this coyote because you want to save animals, you should all the more reason be happy that we are not relocating this coyote into a place where it's not his native environment, because conservation and conserving native wildlife is something that I'm extremely passionate about and I will fight for. So by removing this coyote, I can guarantee the survival of multiple native animals in this habitat. These homeowners said they used to see rabbits all the time. They used to see quail. They don't see any of that. They haven't seen a rabbit in 10 years. And it's because of the population of coyotes just skyrocketing. These coyotes have actually killed over 7 cats in this neighborhood. We had a coyote kill a dog recently, drug the dog into the marsh. The river's right here behind us, and the dog had actually had an invisible fence collar on. Well, 2 coyotes came and grabbed it. It was a Jack Russell, drug it into the marsh. They ate it alive, and the homeowners heard their dog being eaten alive. That's a fact. So these guys are just surviving. They're just being coyotes. You know, there's nothing. They're not doing anything that they're not supposed to be doing. But you know, they're not supposed to be here, so it throws everything out of balance. So we're going to remove this coyote, get this trap reset. There are some other coyotes in this area, and see if we can catch some more.